Hey guys, my name is Rakesh. I welcome you back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn all the basic Python commands for a beginner. We are going to learn multiple Python commands in this video. So let's get started. So now I have PyCharm on my screen. So first of all, you need to install PyCharm in case you have not done it. I have a separate video. Please do watch it. And once you have installed PyCharm on your system, then all you do, hit on File, New Project, or else you would find a New Project button. If you open it for the very first time, either in the center of the screen or in the right top corner, click on that. This is the window you get. You select the create, keep everything as default, give it a name. For example, here for my project, I have given a name, Automate with Rakesh. You can give test1, test2, or whatever your project name you would like to give. Just replace this Python project to your own name and enable this create a main py welcome script and hit on create. Okay, that's all you have to do. So I have everything I have shown. How do you set up your PyCharm? Please do watch that video in case you would like to learn everything in detail. In this video, we are going to focus on Python commands. Okay, now the very first thing what I will teach you is go to Windows start search and type command. Open the command prompt on your Windows. Okay, so once you have opened command prompt, now I would like to know if I really have Python and which version of Python do I have. So Python, so this is the very first command you should learn. So hit on enter. So this is going to tell I have the latest Python version 3.10.4, right? This is one thing. The another one, if you simply write py, which stands for Python, if you hit on enter, what would happen? This is going to call the interpreter. What is interpreter? For example, if someone is speaking Chinese and you do not have any understanding what is that Chinese language, so you call or you get an interpreter. What he does, he would convert or translate that language, Chinese language, to English language and tell you this is the meaning, right? That is the job of an interpreter. Same way, when I say py, it is calling Python program. Now using Python program, let's say if I type a command, the very first command, let's say I'm going to type print and I'm going to say hello world, right? Hello world. If I type this and hit on enter, what would happen? This is going to print. So this print command is part of the Python program and which is understanding, hey, when somebody writes this, this should be the output. Let's say I want to add few values, 56 or multiply few values into 45. If I hit on enter, 2520 is the output. So when you see this three angular symbols, right? When you see these three symbols, that indicates you are inside the Python interpreter. So the Python, the moment you write py, it is calling the Python interpreter or the Python program, and whatever commands you are writing, it's going to execute. Now the problem with this is you have to write one line at a time, only one line at a time, and execute and see the output. So definitely you would not continue to use the command prompt, rather you would use an application. So the application here I am using is the PyCharm application. There are multiple applications which are known as integrated development environment or known as IDE. What is IDE? Integrated development environment, like PyCharm, then you have Jupyter Notebook, right? Python idle. There are multiple different integrated development environment where you can learn your codes. Doesn't matter which one you are using. So PyCharm is one of the popular one. Okay, now in this list we have to learn Python syntaxes. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to teach you is the print command, which just now we saw it. Okay, so if you have to print something, what you are doing, you have to use everything, all the commands that you are writing in Python, everything has to be in lowercase. Remember this, do not write p. The moment I write it in capital letter, what happens? There will be an error. If you see here, there is an error. Okay, one weak warning. So you should always write in lowercase. Simple. Now let's say I want to print something. Now there are two ways to print. I can use a double quote and say Rakesh, and if I have to run this, all I have to do, run this prompt or shift F10, it will give you the output Rakesh. Okay, now the other way to print is, you can, instead of double quote, you can also write single quote. I am writing a single quote, and if I hit on run, it's going to print Rakesh. Or you can use your anything you would like to print. Okay, so double quote and single quote, both the things can be, or both the things are allowed in Python. So this is your first command. Now before you learn, there are a couple of symbols that you should understand. The moment you write hash, right, this is the hash symbol. So what this symbol stands for? This stands for to comment. If you want to comment something, then you will use this symbol hash. So for example, let's say I want to print a sentence, welcome to Automate with Rakesh. After that, here I would like to give a command, print command is used. So I'm writing some kind of a comment just to show why these comments are used. Generally this will help as to why you are building this. You can write something like this. Okay, so print hash symbol is used to, so this, the interpreter is going to ignore this hash. Wherever you are writing hash is going to ignore the command. Okay, so if I run this, what would happen? The output is coming, welcome to automatic bracket. What would happen if I put a hash here? It is going to ignore the entire line and is not going to print anything. See, no output has come. So you have learned the hash command, print command, py, Python space version. Okay, all these three different commands till now you have learned. Now you should be aware there are a couple of names. Okay, what you call this when somebody I'll use a hash, what you call this symbol? This symbol is known as colon. Okay, couple of symbols you should be pretty aware. What do you call this symbol? This one, this is known as semicolon. Okay, now what do you call this one? Tell me, what do you call this one? This symbol is known as parenthesis. So I am using a hash symbol just to comment, okay, so that there will be no error. So this is known as parenthesis. Okay, then what do you call this one? You say it curly brackets. You can say curly brackets, easy word, or you can say curly braces. You can also say curly braces. These are the two different words you can use. Curly brackets is the easy one to remember. Now let's say what you call this one? You call this square brackets or square braces. Okay, simple. And then if I say, what do you call this one? Angular brackets, right? You can say angle brackets or angular brackets, whatever you like, angle brackets or angle braces. Okay, this one you have learned. And what do you call this one? This is known as double quote, right? Double quotes. What do you call this one? This is known as single quotes. Okay, so you should be aware. So what you do when you are learning the syntaxes for Python, very important thing is you are learning the words, the commands and the syntaxes, right? The syntaxes and commands are very important. So maintain a separate book, and in the book, in the notebook, you should write everything that you are learning one by one. Okay, so right, so what you should call parenthesis, you should not call anything else, right? So you have to name it in a proper way. So curly brackets, angle brackets, double quotes, single quotes, hash symbol, right? All this you need to call in a right way. Give a single quote. So you should know everything. So this is clear. Okay, now let's move on and understand. So the very first thing we have learned is print. Let's say if I say x is equal to I want to say one by one we will go. Okay, one by one we will go. Let's say I'm going to give it a value, x is equal to, let's say, 10. Okay, and then I'm going to create another variable. So these are called variables, and I'm going to say y is equal to 15. So what would happen? Remember, any variable that you are creating in Python, right, you do not have to declare the variable type. It's not necessary. With the moment the value is added to the variable, automatically it understands this is an integer kind of a variable, right? Let's say I want to say z is equal to in double quotes I am going to say Rakesh. So then z will be a string type. So this is a string type variable. X and y are integer type variables. So for example, if I would like to print these three variables, I can say x comma y comma z when I have to print multiple variables. Okay, if I want to print only single variables, all I have to say print x right? Like this you can write, or you can say print, then you can say y. Similar way you can say print. Okay, so the print command, what we are learning here, print command in different formats we are learning. The moment I hit on run, what would happen? Okay, so for the z it has given an error, because why? Because z is not a, okay, sorry, so here I have made a mistake. What is the mistake I have done? Tell me. Here I have made a mistake, so I should have written like this. Okay, so this is clear. Okay, now let me run this. If you run this, what is the output has come? The first thing, print xyz, right? The moment I print xyz, if I scroll up, 10, 15 and Rakesh, three things has been printed in this line. Now print xyz, when I did, it printed 10, then it has printed 15, then it has printed Rakesh. Getting it? So this is all about the print command. Okay, now let's say you would like to know, Rakesh, how do I know what you said? Z is a string type, y is an integer type. How do I know this? Okay, so to know this, what I am going to do, I'll again use a print command. You are going to learn one more command here, which is known as type. So if I say type x, so what does this mean? It's going to say what kind of a x is a what kind of a data type. For example, if I run this, it is going to say this is of class int. Int means integer type. It is an integer kind of a data type. Okay, what if I print z, so, or z? The moment I print z, it is going to tell me this is a string kind of a data type. Getting it? So this type function is important, or this type command is important to understand the kind of variable data type it is, or what kind of a data type the variable is using. For that, the type command is used. So you have learned one more thing. What is that? Type. Okay, so this is very clear. Now another thing I would like to teach you, right? What if you would say, Rakesh, I do not want to the moment you are assigning a value, it is understanding. What if I would like to declare the type? I would like to say declaring a data type is known as casting. In Python, when you declare, right, cast, so you call it cast. Cast means declaring the data type for a variable. So this will be known as cast. For example, if I say x is equals to, I will say integer type, and here I am going to mention 1 2 3 4 5 6. So what is happening now? The x variable will become an integer type data type. What if I say y equals to string, and here I am printed, I will print a name, let's say Rakesh. So what is happening now? This y become a string type. Now let's say I would like to print it. Okay, print, for example, if I say print x, what would happen? It is going to print 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? It's very simple. Now I would like to know its type. So if I type, write the function type, and within the bracket I'm going to supply the variable, right, type x. Now here if you see, last time it has printed 1 2 3 4 5 6. The moment I'm using the type function, which is going to tell me, okay, x, what is the type of this data? So it is saying it is an integer type of data. Anyways, you have already declared, but you are trying to test it here. Let's say if I'm going to write y here, now if I hit on run, now it is saying it is a string type. So these are the very basic things that one should know. Okay, this is done. So I'm pretty sure you will be making a note of things on your notebook one by one, whatever you are learning. Okay, now let's go to our next set of things that we should learn. Now you will hear about the variables, right? When you create a variable, you hear about different standards. Okay, variable declaration standards, or you say nomenclature, right? So variable declaration standard. So there are three different standard. One is the very popular one is the camel case. What is this camel case? And the other one is Pascal case. What is this Pascal case? And the third one is your snake case. So these are the popularly used different variable types. For example, let me going to show you. For example, I want to say I want to create a variable called employee name is equals to, I'm going to say Rakesh. So this is one way. So what I have done, employee name, um, so I'm going to say employee name. So here what I'm doing, let me give it a different name, employee name, ABC. So company name is ABC, let's say. Okay, employee name ABC. And here what is happening, um, okay, in this case what is happening, the very first word is employee, right, and the second word is name, and the third word is the company name. So here what we are doing, the very first word when we are writing, it has to be written always in lowercase, like a camel, right? You can imagine a camel. So always written in a lowercase. And the second one, the first alphabet is written in uppercase, and same thing, the third word, again whatever number of words you are going to use, everything will start with a capital letter. So this is known as camel case. Now, what is Pascal case? This is one way people love to use. This is one of the most popular one. They will start with a lowercase and then capital. They will continue with each word. Now, Pascal case is what? They are going to make every word, the first word of every, the first letter of every word will become a capital letter. So this will known as Pascal case. And what is a snake case? All the words will be in lowercase. Okay, all the words will be in lowercase, and they will be joined by a underscore. They will be joined by a underscore. So this will be known as a snake case. This is very important. You cannot declare the variables as you like, but you have to use a specific format. Okay, the format is either you go with a camel case, where the first letter will start with a small, the other letters will start with all capital letters of the word, and the Pascal is all the word will start with a capital letter, and snake case everything will be lowercase and joined by a underscore. Okay, this should be very clear when you are learning Python or any programming language. These are the three different widely used standard. Okay, there could be other formats also, but these are the three standard variable naming conventions that's being used. So this is very clear. Now the other thing, can I start a variable with a number? Can I start? See, it has given an error. You cannot start any variable name with a number. You cannot have a number. Can I have it at in between? Yes, you can have. Doesn't matter. Can I have at the end? Yes, you can have. Doesn't matter. There will be no error. Okay, you can see there is no error. Okay. What if Rakesh? Can I create a variable? Let me take a very simple example. Let's say I'm going to create a single word variable called name is equal to Rakesh. Okay, can I use a number before that? A variable cannot start with a number. Can I start with at the rate? No, you cannot start with the at the rate also. Can I use an underscore? Yes, a variable can be started with an underscore. You can start a variable name with an underscore, but generally people won't use it. Okay, now can I use a number at the end or in between? Yes, you can do it. There is no restrictions. Okay, so these are the couple of things that you should know, that a variable should not start with a number. You cannot write or any alphanumeric symbols like at the rate or dollar symbol. All this, all these things cannot be done. Only thing is allowed is underscore, and underscore can be used anywhere. Okay, doesn't matter. For example, I can put an underscore anywhere I want. Okay, so underscore is allowed. Alphabets are allowed. A to Z, capital letter, small letter, everything is allowed. Now if I say name equals to, now one I am writing in uppercase, the other one I am writing in lowercase and giving some other name called John. Now if I do print, what would happen if I say print name, print the variable name, the variable doesn't have to be put inside quote. Okay, and then print, I am writing the small name. Now tell me, Rakesh, what would happen here? Is it going to print Rakesh or John? So let me tell you, in Python, the variables are case sensitive. So when you say name, that means this is a different variable. When you say lowercase name, this is a different variable. They are case sensitive. So for example, if I run this, you would say for the first one, it has printed Rakesh. For the second one, it has printed John. Getting it? So they are case sensitive. Remember, in Python, they are very case sensitive. So you have to be very careful about your case while creating a variable. Okay, this is simple. So this much is understood. Now let us learn little bit advanced thing. For example, if I create a variable x comma y comma z, so how many variables? three different variables equals to, now in double quotes I'm going to say Rakesh, comma, let's say I'm going to say John, comma, and I'm going to write Harry. So what would happen at this point? So there are three different variables in the beginning and there are three different values that I have declared at the end, right? So in this case, what would happen if I say print, for example, I want to print y. What I'm printing? I'm printing y. So what value will be printed? John should be printed. If you see, John has been printed. Getting it? So this is a list of multiple values I'm assigning into multiple variables in a single line. Just in a single line, I am doing all this. Is it clear? Okay. Now let's do one more thing. What if I would like to print everything? Print, I want to say x, comma, y, comma, z. So I'm printing three different things. So in this case, when I hit on enter, it will say Rakesh, John and Harry. It is printing all the things. Now the same thing I will teach about another operator. So what would happen if I say x? Look at this, x, then I am writing plus y, then I am writing z. So what is going to happen here if I run this? Look at the print, look at the difference. The moment I use the comma operator, there were spaces. The moment I am using plus operator, it is just concatenating the values, the string values, and there is no space. It is just adding all the values. Getting it? If it would have been an integer, if it would have, for example, instead of, I will say 5 and I will say 100 and I will say 5 again, right? Now look at the output. What would be the output? The first one, it has printed, because I have used a comma operator, 505, three different values were printed. The moment I am using a plus operator, because they are integers, because they are still strings. Why they are still strings? I am using double quote, so it has just concatenated all the values. The moment I remove the double quote from all of this, what would happen? It is going to add the value. This is very important thing to notice and understand. So let me run it. So what would happen? Now the second output is 110. The first output is, it has just printed the values. So this is clear? Very good. So you have learned so many things now. Now let's get on to the next thing that we should learn. Now let's say, Rakesh, what if, right? What if I would like to give multiple, another thing that I should teach you. For example, if I say Rakesh, so what would happen here? All the three variables will only have one value, that is Rakesh. For example, if I say print x, comma, y, comma, z, it is going to print all the variables going to hold the same value. So this is one way, okay, assigning single value to multiple variables in one line. So this can be done in Python. Okay, so all these Python codes are becoming clear, right? Very simple ones and easy ones, and the basics for you Python beginners. Okay, these are the basic commands, Python commands or Python codes for a beginner. Now let's say I am going to teach you one more thing. Let's say I'm going to create a variable called my city name. Now tell me, what is the variable standard I'm using? Which case I'm using? Is it a Pascal case, or is it a camel case, or is it a snake case? This is a tell me, this is a camel case, right? It appears like a camel, right? Starting from low and upper and upper. So it's a camel case. And in this camel case, I am going to define in my city names. Okay, so it will have list of city names. So list of city names, if I have to define, this is known as a list or a collection of different data in one variable. For example, if I say Bangalore, okay, comma, if I say let's say Goa, comma, then if I say Delhi. Okay, now there are three different city names. There are three different city names in one variable, right? Now what if I would like to assign this three different values to three different variables? So what I will do, x, comma, y, comma z. These are three different variables equals to, I'm simply going to hit on tab and select the my city names. So in this case, what happened, all the three different values that were there in one variable, now it will be distributed to these three variables as per the line. So Bangalore will go to X, Goa will go to Y, Z will go to Delhi. Now let's print and see this. Okay, print, I'm going to print X comma Y comma Z, hit on enter. Now let's run this. Now what happened, Bangalore, Goa, Delhi. Now what if I would like to only print the value Delhi. So print, and I'm going to say capital of India is colon space, and I will give it a comma, and I'm going to print Z. Okay, because G will be having Delhi, right? So if I do this way, if I write this way and run it, what will happen? Here it is saying capital of India is Delhi. Getting it? So these are a couple of interesting things where we have created a list or a collection of data, and we are trying to unpack this collection into three different variables. Unpack. I am doing an unpacking of collections and then trying to print the values of it. So this must be pretty clear. Okay. So you learned about comma operator, plus operator, you learned about cities. Okay, all these things are pretty clear. Now one more important thing I am going to teach you. For example, if I say x is equal to 10 and y is equals to let's say 100. X is equal to 10, y is equal to 100. What if I want to create a additional I need to write a code to add these two variables. So what I will do, there is something known as functions. So what is this function? You will be pretty clear. For example, if I say add function, I'm going to create, you can give your own name. Okay, here I am giving a name called add function, and all this function has to be started with def, means define. Def means define and give it a name, your own name, test function, add function, whatever name you would like to give it your own name. And here I'm going to have a parenthesis and colon. See, I should use the proper words, parenthesis and colon. So this is the way you create a function. So you'll be very clear the moment I design this. So what I have done, I hit on enter. The moment I hit on enter, there's a white space at the beginning, and the moment the white space is very required, very much required. You can't remove the white space because there will be error. There has to be a white space. Okay, so here you should come, hit on enter, and there has to be a white space. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply say print x plus y. I'm going to add these two values. Okay, and then hit on enter. Again it has a white space. I want to close the function. I'm going to say add the function name and done. So what this will do, now you should have understood x and y are two different variables, and in this one we are using this two variable values inside the function called add function, and using this I am going to print the value. So if I hit on run, so what is the benefit, Rakesh? Why you can simply say print x plus y and print it, right? And it will give you the same output. So when you create a function, this function can be called n number of times. You can call these functions n number of times in your project. So you can use this if you want to add two values multiple times in a project, you can call it. This is a little advanced thing which I'm going to teach you later, but at the moment you should only remember how the function works. How do you define a function? How do you type a function? Okay, this is clear. So this is how it is giving a value. So now the value is 110. What if I'm creating a scenario? What if I will say x is equal to 500 here? So the output will, so if I define 500, is it going to take this value of x or is it going to take this value of x? So let's see that it will always take within. So this is known as the global variable. Okay, anything outside of the function, if it is created, that will be called as a global variable. Anything created inside the function, you can call it as a local variable. Getting it? So what would happen here, what value will be printed, because inside the function, this is a function, right? So inside a function, when you are defining a value of a variable, is going to take precedence. So if I run this, the output should say 600. Okay, so this is understood. Now what if I wanted to define a global variable inside the function. So this is slightly advanced, but again it is okay. So I'm saying global x. So what does become, the x is already declared, but again I am trying to declare it within the function. So this become a global x. Okay, this has become a, okay, one more thing I forgot to teach you. X is equal to 500, and what would happen if I print outside of the function? Okay, for example, here the value has come 600, but here it will still take the value of the global variable. For example, the first print has given the value 600, but the second print has given the value 10, because it is using the global variable value. Clear? Okay, so this is clear. Now what would happen? Can I do something like this? For example, I will say global x. That means I am saying x variable is a global one now. Hit on enter. Hit on enter. So why it is giving a red color? Because I have written in capital letter. So all should be in lowercase. Global x. Okay, done. Now here in this line, I am going to say x is equal to let's say 800. Now tell me, when this line will execute, is it going to print 800 plus y is equal to 900, or is going to print 110, and what will be the output here? Okay, so let's run it. So what happened? Because we have made global x and given a variable 800, even in the second line the value has come 800. It has overwritten the primary value, and here inside this anyways it has printed 800 plus 100, and it has shown the output as 900. So these are slightly, we are going into a slightly advanced mode, but again these are the basic set of things that we have learned today. Okay, starting from your print command, starting from different colon, semicolon, what are those, and then we have checked the Python version, py, right, and then type x. So a lot of things that we have learned in this video. So please do practice once again and make a note of everything that you have learned in this video. Next thing, we are going to get into a different topic in my next video. Till then, take care, and we are going to meet in the next video. Please do subscribe to my channel in case you have not done it already. Please do hit on the notification icon so that you get notified anytime I'm uploading a video on my channel. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.